who here has read the book or watched the movie Horton Hears a Who? Yeah? Awesome. Well, would you believe me if I told you that the story wasn't completely made up? In fact, this is happening in our bodies right now. We just have to look a little closer. Let me introduce you to the brain cell population, a tiny microscopic population of beings that are currently living inside our brains. And this is their story. So in the beginning, there was nothing. And then all of a sudden, a mysterious collision between two planets in the uterus space caused an explosion that gave birth to the brain cell population. Initially, the population was very small and consisted of very few individuals. We call these individuals the founder cells. The founder cells have established themselves in the neural tube. Right now, there's a big event in the neural tube as one of the founder cells is expecting her first child. We will be following this child's life as it goes through the 4 steps of neural development: neurogenesis, migration, differentiation, and maturation. So, how about we go join our founder cell as we find out what the cell type of her child is. A founder cell can give birth to either a neuron or a glial cell through mitosis. Can I get a drum roll, please? It's a neuron! So she decides to name her baby neuron Timmy. The days pass and Timmy gets older. He decides that it's time for him to move out of the neural tube. So he packs his bags, says goodbye to his mom, and hops on to the radial glial express. Destination, the outer regions of the brain. Timmy always had a fascination for sounds, so he decided to go to the University of the Auditory Cortex. This will change his future as a cell, since every university across the brain specializes in different functions. So here, Timmy will learn all the skills necessary in order to become a functioning cell of the auditory system. Once all these skills are learned, Timmy graduates. Upon graduation, Timmy has to make connections with other neurons in order to build a network and find a job. However, if he does not succeed in making connections, he risks never finding a job and being completely excluded from that system. Luckily for him, Timmy makes connections right away and finds a job he loves within the auditory system. So we've been focusing our attention on the life of one specific neuron, but it's very important to realize that our brains are extremely complex, and they're composed of billions and billions of neurons that are just like Timmy. It's also important to note that every single neuron goes through these 4 steps of neural development. They start off with neurogenesis, so this is the birth of the neuron. Then there's migration. So this is the process by which a neuron will travel from the inner regions of the brain, so the neural tube, to the outer regions of the brain, the cortex. And this is done with the help of the radial glial cells. After this, we have differentiation. So that is when a cell is recruited to perform a specific function. And depending on where the cell is in the brain, it will differentiate differently. So a cell in the auditory cortex will develop a task related to audition, whereas a cell in the visual cortex will develop a vision-related task. Last, we have maturation. So this is the process by which neurons make connections with other neurons through synapses. If a neuron does not make any connections, it will die and just be completely removed from that system. So once all these steps are complete, we get a fully functioning brain that definitely helps our human hear a who. Thank you.
All right, that was a